The phantom customer. In the quiet, dimly lit aisles of a small local grocery store, a shadowy figure moves silently. The store, usually bustling with activity, now stands eerily empty, the only sound being the faint hum of the fluorescent lights above. The silhouette of a person, barely visible, glides through the aisles, their presence almost ghostly. Who is this mysterious figure? What brings them here at this late hour? The air is thick with an unsettling silence, as if the store itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The phantom customer, an enigma wrapped in shadows, leaves no trace, no clue of their intentions. As the minutes tick by, the mystery deepens, and the store remains shrouded in an eerie stillness. This is the story of the phantom customer, a tale of intrigue and suspense that will leave you questioning what you thought you knew about the ordinary. One night, a cashier named Alex was working his usual shift. The store was empty, except for a lone figure lurking in the aisles. When Alex approached the customer, they were gone, without a trace. The night was unusually quiet, with only the hum of the fluorescent lights breaking the silence. Alex had been working at this convenience store for years, and he had seen his fair share of odd occurrences. But tonight felt different. There was an eerie stillness in the air, a sense of foreboding that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. As the clock ticked past midnight, Alex noticed a shadowy figure moving between the aisles. At first he thought it was just his imagination playing tricks on him. But as he squinted through the dim light, he could see the outline of a person, their movement slow and deliberate. He watched the figure for a few moments, trying to make out any distinguishing features. The person seemed to be wearing a long coat, and their face was obscured by a hood. Alex's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to approach the mysterious customer. He walked down a store aisle, his footsteps echoing in the empty store. "Excuse me, can I help you with something?" he called out, his voice sounding louder than he intended. There was no response. The figure continued to move, seemingly unaware of Alex's presence. As he got closer, Alex reached out a hand, hoping to get the person's attention, but just as he was about to touch the figure's shoulder, they vanished. One moment they were there, and the next, they were gone, as if they had never been there at all. Alex stood there, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked around, trying to find any sign of the mysterious customer, but there was nothing. The store was as empty as it had been all night. He checked the security cameras, but the footage showed only static where the figure had been. Shaken, Alex returned to the counter, his mind racing with questions. Who was that person? How had they disappeared so suddenly? And why did he feel like he was being watched? He couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. The customer became a regular, always appearing at the same time, always disappearing without a trace. It was as if they were a ghost, materializing out of thin air and vanishing just as quickly. The store employees began to notice the pattern. Every evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, the shadowy figure would glide through the door. They moved with an eerie grace, their footsteps barely making a sound on the old wooden floorboards. The figure would browse the aisles, never speaking a word, their face obscured by the dim lighting. They seemed to have a particular interest in the back corner of the store, where the oldest and most obscure items were kept. The employees would watch from a distance, their curiosity piqued but their questions unasked. Sometimes they would catch a glimpse of the figure's eyes glinting in the dim light, but nothing more. After a few minutes, the figure would make a purchase, always paying an exact change and then slip out the door, disappearing into the night. No one knew where they came from or where they went. It was a mystery that hung over the store, a puzzle that no one could solve. The regular appearance of the shadowy customer became a part of the store's lore, a story whispered among the employees and shared with new hires. It was a reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved. The enigma of the phantom customer lingered, a haunting presence that added an air of intrigue to the otherwise mundane routine of the store. Alex began to suspect that this was no ordinary customer. The way the person moved, the subtle glances around the room, and the almost imperceptible tension in their posture all hinted at something more. Alex's instincts, honed over years of dealing with all sorts of people, were screaming that something was off. The customer's eyes darted nervously, scanning every corner as if expecting something or someone to appear. The dim lighting of the room only added to the sense of unease. Alex knew that it was crucial to stay alert and cautious. This was not just another day at work, something unusual was definitely unfolding, and Alex had to be prepared for whatever might come next. The atmosphere was thick with tension, each second stretching into an eternity. Alex could feel the weight of the customer's presence, a palpable sense of something hidden beneath the surface. The way the customer's fingers drummed lightly on the counter, the slight twitch in their eye, all these small details added up to a larger, more troubling picture. Alex's mind raced, trying to piece together the puzzle. Was this person in trouble, or were they the trouble? The questions swirled, unanswered, as the minutes ticked by. Alex decided to keep a close watch, every sense heightened, every nerve on edge. The room seemed to close in, the shadows growing longer, the silence more oppressive. It was a moment of quiet before the storm, a calm that was anything but reassuring. Alex knew that whatever was about to happen, it would require all their wits and experience to handle. This was a test, a challenge, and Alex was determined to meet it head-on. The mysterious customer had brought an air of uncertainty, and Alex was ready to face it no matter what.